Hello, welcome to another tutorial on grade level student tech use expectations and teacher practices. This is geared towards helping teachers to integrate the technology into their classrooms so that students can become more proficient and capable in our world. So I'm looking at this document, and this tutorial focuses on the integration of audio, graphics, video, and other media in presentations and projects. It's a main category in the Common Core, and this is becoming increasingly important for students to be proficient in as they go towards their college paths and career paths. The more they can utilize that type of technology, the more opportunities they will have in whatever path they choose. So this tutorial is going to focus on the 9th through 12th grade band. So if I click down to 9th grade and look at what is called for digital media, it says that students should make strategic use of digital media, including text, graphics, audio, and interactives in presentations to enhance points and interest. The interactives is an addition from what we saw at the middle school level, but basically the expectation is that students would be able to be savvy in utilizing these different forms to make their presentations and projects more interactive and basically more interesting. So if you scroll down to 10th and 11th and 12th, it is the same text, but again we're trying to increase complexity as we go through those grade bands. So if I go to the 9-12 tech integration site and go down to the adding digital media to presentations and projects, as we move through these grade bands, we're looking more at addressing specific audiences, having students choose the appropriate tool rather than have it be chosen for them, but then also integrating audience participation in different ways. So by 12th grade, they will be addressing specific audiences, choosing the best tool, and finding ways that will involve the audience that will result in tangible data. So in this tutorial, we're going to look at how to address this standard by using presentations application in Google Apps. Students have their Google Apps accounts. They log into their account, go to create and presentation, and choose their theme, click OK, and then they can create new slides from here. And maybe as part of their slide, let's say this is gorillas and sounds of gorillas, and maybe they recorded sounds of that. You could either just paste a link onto the slide and there it is, or if you want it to look a little better, you can highlight and then go into insert link and then paste that link here, click OK. Now that shows as sounds of gorillas, and then if you wanted to add other media to this, the best way to do is go to Tools, Research, select Images, and then if I type in gorillas, there they are. You can drag that over, and once that picture is in, I can move it around, and I can get rid of text. And now I have my multimedia slide, and notice that this picture is even linked to the source that it came from. So since the standard calls for middle school students to add things like graphs and charts to their projects and presentations, you can also use this research tool to search for things like that. So if I type in graphs of gorillas in the image form, I can see what some of these graphs might be. So if I like this one, for example, I could drag that over and have that be a graph in my presentation. Then if I was presenting, I could just click right into that and then be able to explain what that graph is representing during my presentation. Or I could provide a little caption beneath it by going to Insert Text Box. Then I could type in what this graph represents. So students have a lot of options for how they want to represent it, and using this research tool makes it easy for them to go to larger versions on the web and just have this be a visual aid. Another option is for videos. If you go to Insert Videos and type in a search term through YouTube, gorilla preservation, if your school has access to YouTube, you can select a video from here, and then that video gets embedded directly into your slideshow, and you could play it from there when it is published. In thinking about how to help students incorporate audience participation, there's a number of options you can guide them towards. Scrolling down to the digital media to presentations section, looking at the progression, integrating audience participation in basic ways could be just asking questions and fielding responses. But as we get into the upper grades, we're looking at trying to have more solid data and more engaging interaction. So I've listed a couple options. One, Poll Everywhere, a Google form, and Today's Meet. So for Poll Everywhere, basically students would go in, log in, create a sign-in, and create a poll, something like this: what's your favorite animal? Only their question would pertain to their presentation, and then they would be engaging students who had cell phones who could text in their answer, and then they could show that during the presentation or look at it afterwards as evidence of what the students or the audience was thinking. Another option is Today's Meet, which is basically a back channel where participants can join your room and comment on things or ask questions as you go. So you just go here, name a room, there's no login required, and then when people go into the room they have to put in their name and then join, and then as they put in comments then they show up on the back channel, and then the presenting group can look at how people responded, questions they had. They can respond to questions in the middle of the presentation, or just kind of take a screenshot afterwards to get some feedback on what's happening. Another option is to create a Google form. So if students go to their drives, go to Create and Form, then they can create a basically a survey. Just click Test, choose a template, and then put in their questions here, and then audience members can respond to these questions either during the presentation or afterwards, and that's another way to get their input in a organized fashion. So lots of different options out there. There are others as well. These are just some that can help increase that participation element. One thing for publishing slideshows, if you go to File and Publish to the Web, you can require viewers to sign in to Sparta School's account or whatever your domain is. But when you click Start Publishing, it'll prompt you, and then it gives you a link to the live slideshow. So right now you can share this slideshow with this link, and people will just see this view. But if you do the Publish link, then it will actually take people to the slideshow, and then it's a little more viewer friendly. So lots of options here. Again, this is just one option of many that you could have students do, but since the students have Google accounts, it's typically an easy option because they don't have to have another login anywhere else. So thank you for listening, and talk to you next time.